For more on this, I want to bring in Congressman Mark Green now. The congressman represents Tennessee's 7th Congressional District, and he was on the border this week. Got to see it firsthand. Congressman, good to have you with us, sir.
Yeah, Vince, thanks for having me on.
What is going on with Alejandro Mayorkas? I see that that the House is readying this impeachment process. Is it likely to take place next week?
Well, yeah, I'm the chairman of the committee that's doing it, and we've led a 5-phase investigation. I think you and I have talked about that before when I've been on the show. The point of that was just educate the American people and get the furor up, and boy, is it up. I mean, even Democrats across the country are pissed off. Look, the guy has subverted the laws of Congress. He has basically refused to follow edicts from court rulings that have said you must enforce the law. He is lying to Congress and has lied to Congress. This is his woke immigration agenda being forced on America, contrary to the laws of the country that have resulted in the death of Americans, massive fentanyl, cartels spreading their criminal networks throughout the country, terrorists with basically a full open border. They can just come right on in. It's unconscionable. He needs to go. Our first hearing of his impeachment is next Wednesday.
How do you address this excuse that is not unique to America? It's happening all over the world. We're just experiencing the same phenomenon.
It's absolutely absurd, and yes, we have. I mean, we will again. Right now, no one is mass migrating to Brazil. No one is I mean, if there's this mass migration, they'd be going everywhere, and it's not happening. Europe has actually closed its borders with in some ways. So, and particularly Eastern European countries, there's not that mass wave out of Syria, which occurred because of the war. That's pretty much tapered off. The only mass migration happening on the planet right now is into the United States because the door has been thrown wide open, and Mayorkas has said, come on. And the cartels have exploited it. They get the money and traffic the people across the country, or across Latin America. When people arrive, they concentrate them at the crossing sites, overwhelming Border Patrol, and then they sneak their nefarious individuals and the narcotics around them, and it's destroying the country. And Mayorkas knows this. I mean, Merrick Garland, the Attorney General of the United States, working for Joe Biden, said as much in testimony almost a year ago, or actually more than a year ago, and Mayorkas 6-8 months ago tried to deny he knew about this cartel strategy exploiting his policies. He can't not know it now. This is intentional. They want to fundamentally change the electorate in the country, and they think they can do it, and they're paying the price. They think it's worth the price, I guess. We're going to get him out of office.
Yeah, it's so brazen. I mean, Mayorkas is acting like it's not my fault we have all these magnets. Really? Because you're the guy who said that being here illegally is not a basis for deportation. That's on record, Mayorkas saying that.
100%. I forget who told me this, and I quoted it in my hearing, but if there's a college town and there's a college town bar, it might have been you, Vince, I don't know, but if the guy's not carded, there'll be a line out the door for that bar. Mm-hmm. And that's essentially what we've got now, and they're pouring in. It's just escalated ever since they've been in office, and it's going to continue until we implement some policies that will stop it.
I don't know if there's any better example of the fact that they're trying to make it worse than the fact that they keep ordering the Border Patrol to cut open the concertina wire that Texas is laying down. Because, Mayorkas said yesterday on that interview with Brett, he said, we're trying to stop this. We've asked Mexico to enforce their southern border. We want to slow the flow of all of these people. Really? Because when Texas erects barriers, you break them open.
Yes, and he designed the CBP One app to basically make it easy to come into the country. If the cartel member adds a little extra fee to the coyote fee and fills out the form for them, they get to come right in the country. It's like automatic parole. 95.8% of those who fill out that app, which was nothing but a shell game, they just come in. Everything he's done is doubled down on the open door. He has not implemented a single policy that would stop people.
Do you get the sense that your fellow Republican lawmakers are with you on impeaching Mayorkas? Do you think we'll see a unanimous vote to do that?
I don't know about a unanimous vote because there's one individual who just, his concepts of what impeachment means to me isn't historically accurate. So I don't know where he'll be, but I think we'll get the majority. I mean, we're working those last. There were 8 that voted against, the privileged motion. I've talked to all of those. Most of them, the vast majority, were like, look, we just want to due process. You're doing an investigation. Let's wait to the end of the investigation, which now it's over and we're moving into impeachment. But I think we get most of those guys. Look, we have a thin majority. So hopefully, and I'm going to go meet with a couple of Democrats and say, look, I mean, you can wear this into the election if you want to, but it's a big, ugly pile of you know what. And, how about voting with us to get rid of Mayorkas?
Yeah, you would think they would. I mean, especially some of these border Democrats, they represent districts that are taking the brunt of this right now. They've previously signaled immense discontent with the Biden administration and what's happening. Can you envision a Democrat crossing the aisle to support the impeachment calls?
Cuellar might. I mean, he's like that. Dean Phillips might. I mean, he's running for president. I don't know if he wants to make that bold of a statement, but there are several out there that I think they certainly feel the same way we do. I've had Democrats tell me it's a humanitarian crisis. I've had them tell me Mayorkas should have been fired. So we'll see. I mean, clearly the governor of Massachusetts, the mayor of New York City, the mayor of these liberal cities are sick and tired of what's happening. They want to blame it on Texas for busing, but Texas's busing is about 3% of the busing that happens into New York City. Maybe 6% at most. The vast majority are DHS busing people all over.
Yeah. By the way, you said Democrats. You mean Democrat lawmakers have told you they think Alejandro Mayorkas should have been fired?
Yeah, I have had a Democrat lawmaker tell me that after Afghanistan, Biden should have fired a few generals, and he should have fired Mayorkas a long time ago.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. He definitely should have. So we'll see. On the busing front, you're in a good position to answer this question. The left keeps on saying that Greg Abbott and others are forcing all of these migrants to go to these Democrat sanctuary cities. My impression has been that the illegals who cross into the United States, they are told where these buses are going, that they have agency over whether or not they get on the bus and what city they're going to. Isn't that right?
Absolutely. The Texans at least ask them and have them sign a form. Where do you want to go? And they bus them where they want to go. So this lawsuit from the federal government is going to fail because those individuals have all signed forms saying that's where they want to go. And the federal government's doing it again, probably 96% of the total. So it's absurd that they're going to turn around and sue Texas for doing it. And it's absurd that the Democrats want to say it's all Governor Abbott. It is not.
Right. There's a lot of federal money going into human trafficking right now. Do we have a sense of just how much? And it looks like these non-government organizations, to include Catholic charities, are really, taking all this money and enabling this human trafficking into the country.
Yeah, the NGOs, and there are some NGOs that do good work, but there are some NGOs who are facilitating the human trafficking and are facilitating these people coming, and it serves as an incentive, and so they come, and the NGOs give them food and legal advice, and then put them on a bus, and it's incentivizing this mass wave of migration that Mayorkas is talking about.
Yeah. Okay, so what does the impeachment hearing actually look like next week for you? Are we going to see specific articles of impeachment? Are we going to see some witnesses? What'll take place?
So there will be witnesses, and we're kind of holding off on announcing who those are yet. But we've got some hearings lined up, and then we'll mark up articles of impeachment. I think that's as much as I really want to say right now.
Okay.
We've got a 5-phase report that's out there from the investigation that details the financial cost, the human cost, the dereliction of duty, the violations of the law, and et cetera. It's out there, and it's public right now on the committee webpage.
Got it. Well, one thing that stands out to me about Mayorkas' tenure, in addition to allowing the border to collapse and aiding and abetting it, is the treatment of the Border Patrol. That horsewhipping scandal where Mayorkas straight up lied to the American people, slandered the men and women who work under him, and knew better. That was disgraceful, and I think the basis of another article, if possible.
Well, clearly lying to the American people.
Yeah.
You know, he lied to the American people, and that's a breach of trust. So I'm sure that'll be in the list.
All right. Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. Congressman Mark Green, thanks for heading down to the border, checking out what's happening there, and for sticking it to these guys. Hopefully something good comes of it. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Vince. Have a great day. Thanks for having me on.
You too. All right. Congressman Mark Green again.